Welcome YouTube. So guys, let's take a moment to understand some of the things that we've seen in yesterday's weigh-in ahead of Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia's eagerly anticipated clash today or tomorrow, depending on which country you're viewing the fight from. Now guys, in yesterday's final ceremonial face-off, the boxers obviously had to weigh in, and when Ryan stepped on the scales, he was just over 3 pounds over the weight limit and the 140-pound weight limit. Now, when you are overweight by a few pounds in a fight of this magnitude, the fight won't be stopped, but two things are automatically activated and they will be written into the contract, or at least negotiated, when the scales reveal that problem. So the first thing is that there'll be a fine, and this is something that will be negotiated or be written in at the time of the negotiations. And it was stated that obviously where Ryan turned up 3 pounds, 3.2 pounds over the weight limit, he now has to pay 500k per pound. I think he's honored that. Now, the second thing is that he won't be able to fight for the belt, as we are in this climate now where boxers are willingly vacating their belts and being stripped. I don't think Ryan really cares about that. Boxers give up their belts because they just don't want to pay sanctioning fees, some of the ridiculous sanctioning fees, and also where the sanctioning body gives the boxer a mandatory fight and they just don't feel that particular mandatory will take them into the direction that they feel their career needs to go in. Moving on from that, Ryan Garcia, we know, is unprofessional for that reason, for not making weight, for not fulfilling the contractual agreements of the fight. He is unprofessional. Devin Haney, he is professional. He's fulfilled the contractual agreements. He's fight ready according to the contractual agreements and the camp that he would have put in place to make sure that he turns up and he performs to the best of his ability. When we look at Ryan Garcia, we have to understand, is this a situation that gives him an advantage or a disadvantage? You know, coming in overweight. We need to understand, first of all, with weight and meeting weight on the night is different to fitness. Making weight and actually being fight ready fit are two different things. Let's say you're a boxer and you're training for a fight. 2 weeks before the fight, you see through sparring, you're able to do 15 rounds of sparring against maybe 3 or 4 different opponents jumping in to the ring. And you know, they're your weight class. You're able to hold your own, and you know that these particular opponents are actually better than the opponent that you will face. So you're confident. You step on the scales and you're half a kg overweight. Now, you are fit enough to fight your opponent, but you are not making weight at this current stage. So you then have to train more to lose that weight. And this is taxing on the body. People might think, oh, but if you get to train more, then you're just going to be a lot fitter. When you train more, you are just more prone to injury. Okay, so sometimes this is why boxers, you hear boxers saying, oh, making weight was such a struggle, blah, blah, blah. All this is what they mean. You know, obviously straining the body to meet the requirements of weight. They're already fit, but they're stripping the body of water, essential minerals, you know, through the water, and also the fat that regulates the homeostasis. This is where we need to understand whether Ryan Garcia moves into this situation where he's now fighting overweight as an advantage or a disadvantage. Even the reason why he's in this position, we'll touch on that later. But first of all, I think we need an analogy to understand the disadvantage and the advantage. So let's say, for instance, Devin Haney at the current time, he is, you know, a high performing athlete. Ryan Garcia is a high performing athlete. Devin Haney, he's met the contractual agreements of the fight. He's gone through camp. He's on weight. So let's say that he's a stock Lamborghini Aventador, you know, 2023 model, whatever it may be. Now, you take Ryan Garcia, if he had met the requirements of the fight and he had been fight ready, he would be, obviously there's a bit of rivalry, so we're not going to say the same car. Let's say a Ferrari Daytona SP3 2023 model. But where we look at Ryan Garcia's situation, he's overweight. Now where it's a disadvantage, let's take the analogy and extend that Ferrari Daytona SP3. It carries extra weight now because of shopping, 500 kg, so almost half of the weight of the car. Now that car will underperform, bearing in mind it has a specific engine, it has its own weight. It will now start to underperform. Now this is a situation where we are carrying extra weight, but in the situation where it might be an advantage, let's say for instance we take that stock Ferrari Daytona SP3 and then make it more customized. So we build it with reinforced material, we make it heavier, and to make sure it has the same specifications, we give it a more souped up engine. So we take the V12, we make maybe a V24, I don't know, something more souped up, and able to deliver power to that heavier model, customized model, so it has the same specifications in speed. Now the advantage that car, the customized version, has over the stock SP3 is that it has the same speed but a higher momentum. Momentum is mass times velocity. So let's say the stock and the customized version has a top speed of 200 miles per hour, but the customized version is a harder version. It's more able to withstand external forces. Now, where this analogy relates back to these athletes is that when we think of Ryan Garcia in the situation where he's going into this fight as a boxer carrying weight, he's at a disadvantage because he has the same lung capacity, same strength of heart to facilitate that oxygen moving around the body, but he's carrying more weight. So his heart and his lungs are more so built for the lighter version of himself. That's where he performs optimally. But where he's carrying weight, he's going to fatigue a lot quicker. This is where he's carrying weight, and this is a disadvantage. But where it's an advantage, this is why there's contracts. Obviously, with the contractual agreement, you have to make weight. So everyone has to kill themselves to make that weight. But if only one boxer's made to kill themselves to make that weight and they go through that strain, they take their body through more wear and tear. Devin Haney's done that. Ryan Garcia has not. Remember, he has the fitness moving into this fight, but he hasn't trained to make weight. So remember what I said at the beginning, where if you train to be fit for the fight, you're okay. You can still perform optimally. I gave you that scenario where you're able to even fight for 15 rounds. But if you are then still overweight and then you have to train more, then you run the risk of straining your body and then being more susceptible for injury. Now, if Ryan Garcia has not done that, he's going into this fight comfortable, and he's going also into this fight with more mass. That mass, more momentum, more ability for him to absorb punches. The discipline, the professionalism, he doesn't care about that. But where he has the advantage, that still is remain to be seen within the fight. We don't know if he's carrying that advantage because he might fatigue early or he might absorb punches. Now, he did say in the weigh-in that he wanted to meet Devin Haney in the middle of the ring. That was another deal that they made. So that is something that we need to see also, if that plays out. If that is his game plan, then he probably wanted to train only for fitness and not to make weight. He didn't care about that. So that would be him walking into this fight with more mass, with the mass that he feels comfortable to fight a harder fight, still at the optimal performance that he has for speed, as they are both high performance athletes. But then he wants to absorb punishment. He wants to be in a situation where he can absorb Devin Haney's punches. So that would be the condition where he carries more mass into the fight and he strains his body less. The reason he might be doing this, and this is the second thing that I've observed from this whole press conference, the first thing obviously being him demonstrating such a lack of discipline to even make weight. He walked onto the scales drinking beer, remember that? So he's already showing you that he doesn't care. Now, the second thing is this may be a consequence from his current mental health. I think this, what we are seeing now, is a cause for concern. And a lot of us will think that, no, this is just two amateur boxers that are just going against each other. I think someone wrote that on my comments feed, and I'm saying that no, this is slightly different. This is where a boxer is visibly showing signs that he is struggling from some sort of social anxiety. And I think someone really needs to step in and I think give Ryan Garcia a bit of guidance. Apparently now he's going to marry a porn star. I don't know about that, but that's another social media post that has come out. If you are going to keep it as your business, why do we need to know that? Boxing should be a sport where the fans are interested in your performance and as an athlete, what type of training you do, how often do you train, what are your disciplinary things that you've put into place or integrated within your lifestyle to make you a high performance athlete. We don't look at this like people who watch Kim Kardashian all day. We don't want the sport to devolve or de-evolve into that type of spectacle. We want boxing to remain something that is masculine in nature. We like the fact that there's a challenge. We like the fact that there's an obstacle that we have to overcome. Normally it is ourselves, the will to get up every day and train, the expectation of technique and the level that you have as mastery for technique, the discipline that you have over your own self to not procrastinate with things that don't necessarily add value to your training. These are the things that make boxing perhaps one of the toughest sports. Boxing is not only suffering from the corruption, but I think from the disease of this type of behavior, and it's becoming more common and less unchecked and more accepted. Anyway guys, that's all for now. I really hope you've enjoyed watching the video. Please remember to smash the like button if you have enjoyed watching this particular update. Remember to leave a comment within the comment section if you want to add anything about Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. So until my next one, peace out, and make sure you watch the fight. Peace out.